Dear learners, welcome to this session on sustainability science, an emerging discipline. In previous weeks, we have looked into the basic principles, concepts, and genesis of sustainable development, and what are the challenges of sustainable development. So in this session, we'll touch upon the concept of sustainability science. As you know, today, if you look into what is happening around, and as a ecologist, or as a sociologist, or as an academic, as a scientist, as a policymakers, planners, we have seen that the talk of the century is, as we know, for a sustainable planet Earth. When we talk about sustainability of our planet, the Earth, it means bringing a sustainable society. So bringing a sustainable society can be approached by understanding three important levels of the system. That is global, social, and human system. What is global system? Now, when we talk about global system, it is an interplanetary base for human survival. That is the geosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. The Earth sustains human life by providing natural resources, energy, and a supportive ecosystem by this global system. This global system can exhibit great fluctuations in the Earth's climate and the crust. Like we have seen what we learn in the subject of the earth science. And this particular subject of earth science profoundly affect earth science in that this particular when we study the subject earth science, we'll see the climate fluctuation and the crust, that has a profound effect to human activity and human survival. Conversely, the rapid expansion of human activity has also become a significant factor in fluctuation in the global system. Global warming and the destruction of the ozone layer are the two important examples where you can see this is the one of the human-induced changes in our global system. When we talk about that social system, you will see the political, economic, industrial, and other structure created by human beings that is called social system. This system provides the societal base for a fulfilling human existence. When we talk about fulfillment, it is often assumed to be depend on the economic growth and technological advancement, but this way of development of economic growth or technological advancements also contains the seeds of brings a number of social problems. Is environmental pollution and the growing inequality between rich and the poor, and you will find now the classification of developed and developing world and so on. So these problems of which environmental issues are representative, and that transcends the confine of the social system in their impact, and that extends towards the global system. Then the third system, that is human system. It is the sum total of the factors affecting the survival of individual human beings. Of course, it is intimately connected to the social system. The healthy functioning of the human system requires the establishment of lifestyles and value that will enable people to live in healthily, safely, and securely. That's not merely survive, but to experience a fulfilled life. In reality, you will see we the human beings are adversely affected physically and emotionally by diseases, mental illness, and inequities in the social system. An increase in such problems that puts on pressures on the social system. As this stress increases and the environment deteriorates, the human system itself becomes less healthy. So you will see how this global system, human system, and social system are interacting. When you do not in the human, for if you look into from the bottom up, you will see in human system, if we do not have to keep ourselves secure and to fulfill our desired lifestyle and to have our own beliefs and norms and health, we entirely depend, and we created a social system to maintain all these things. We created a social system we have discussed that political, economy, industry, and technology. And because of this social system, then they directly affect to the environment, and that is, if you look that kind of environment, that is we discussed, that is global system, that is climate, natural resources, energy, ecosystem, etc. Then you will see that directly affect different impact, that is like global warming, then ozone hole, and many more issues are created. So this is how these three systems are interact each other. How it is interlinked. Now, what we can say is from different individual make a social system. And this social system they maintain the global system. So to make a sustainability to look for a global sustainability or sustainable for a sustainable planet Earth, we need to understand the relation between these three important systems, right? On the other hand, knowledge is a driver that advances our society and civilization. In this way, the growing knowledge of human sapiens, Homo sapiens, that's in this way, the growing knowledge of Homo sapiens changes the growing knowledge of we the human, and that is Homo sapiens, changes the features of the earth at different stages. And these changes were started to realize from when we started the Industrial Revolution. Then the question comes, what is sustainability science then? And so in this, we will touch upon what is sustainability science, and we need to understand the brief about how this subject, emergent discipline sustainability science, was grown across the globe, and why the need of the sustainability science education in present context. Number of authors like Katz, Clark and Dixon, and Clark, they have pointed out the importance of understanding the relation between this nature and the society as mutual one, that is, as you know, both dynamic and complex, in order to fulfill basic needs of humanity without damaging the Earth's ability to sustain life. So they advocated the term sustainability science to describe this important perspective. Few of the authors, another authors that is Komiyama and Tikuchin, that some of the authors propose the definition of sustainability science as an academic field that points the way to understanding the diverse issues associated with sustainability in a holistic manner, and to offering visions of the development of a sustainable society and the methods for achieving it. Sustainability science can also be considered as an academic field that analyzes the process of production, diffusion, utilization of various types of knowledge with long-term consequences for society. So let us look into how this subject was grown and emerged into this world. As we know, the term sustainable was initially used in the context of ecology, forest, and fisheries. Later on, economists like Daly, they also started to use this term to describe the sustainability of humanity and society. And then we have seen that World Commission on Environment Development in the reports technically use the term sustainable development and bring the concept of the sustainability means sustainable development in the literary world. The United Nations Conference on Environment Development, also known as the Rio Summit, held in 1992, illustrated the importance of action based on the concept of sustainable development definition which was proposed by WEC, the Brundtland Commission, and resulted in adoption of the Agenda 21 program. Then Johannesburg Summit held a decade later, that is in 2002, that emphasized the importance of education in facilitating action and proposed a decade of education of sustainable development during 2005 to 2014. The point is that the importance of the issues of sustainability and introducing the term sustainable development in the development context and global level, then followed by this Johannesburg Summit, they proposed this decade of education for sustainable development. And if you look back during the 90s, the International Council of Science, IGNOU, initiated studies of science technology for sustainable development. Means just after post-Rio, within 2-3 years after 1990 Rio conference. The reason is that there were with growing frequency that calls for a science for sustainability that would be predicated on recognition of the fundamental links between science and technology and between economics and society, while remaining free from political bias of the sort seen, for example, when you see in different environmental issue, in sustainable issue, you will see a lot of conflict like north-south issues and debates on different issues on sustainable development. It should be free from those political conflict or political bias. If we look into the growth and evolution of science, how sustainability science emerges as a discipline, we can look back into the evolution of science. So, depending on the target of scientific activities that is happening around us, you can see the evolution of science into 3 stages. That is survival science, development science, and at last sustainability science. When we talk about the survival science is the first phase, and we will see this type of science basically concerns knowledge for fighting against natural disasters such as floods, typhoons, and infectious diseases, and it has contributed significantly to the survival of human beings in the past. Right. Then the next phase you will see as a development and science. In this stage, at this particular stage, our scientific knowledge, advancement of scientific knowledge has been utilized extensively for the exploration of our own territory and the utilization of materials on the earth. So in the first stage, what we did, we are trying to survive ourselves from the natural disaster and others. Then we started in the second phase, that is development science. We started to use our advancement knowledge for exploration of territory and utilization of materials on earth, means resource utilization. But that process has resulted in the fragmentation of knowledge into different scientific disciplines or fields, leading to deterioration of natural as well as artificial environment without a systematic understanding of the whole. Like you will see, to explore more, we divided like you will see that life science can be seen into botany, zoology, biotechnology, in physics, chemistry, in physical science, physics, chemistry, mathematics, and so on. So to address all these challenges, sustainability science has been proposed, as I mentioned, in the 1990s by that IGNOU, International Council for Science. This emergent phase of science basically aimed at generating knowledge of the processes of change in the interaction of nature, human, and society. So novel approaches for collection and analysis of various large data sets are required to understand rules and the mechanism of these complex long-term processes of interaction. This is how the sustainability science emerges in the 1990s, and it is a process of phase. We can take it as another phase of science due to advancement of human technology or advancement of human knowledge. Then, why we need sustainability science education? The 20th century was an era of rapid advancement in science and technology and of expansion of regional economies into a worldwide network. In other words, a global economy. Today we use the term globalization. Production, transportation, and consumption grew drastically throughout the world. In other side, in other part of, especially in developing countries, you will see because of the globalization, one of the impact you will see poverty and starvation also increases. Then social disparity. Then if you look into developed country, we feel that developed country has no such kind of issues like poverty, starvation, but still they face economic issues such as income inequality. This income inequality, disparity because of the growth, this growing economy, it's very common across the globe, irrespective of developed country or developing country or underdeveloped country. And even they have developed countries also unemployment during cyclical recession when we have that financial this recession, even during this pandemic also, during the pandemic of COVID-19. These are the issues which are very common across the world. Other Asian issues range from global environmental problems such as global warming, climate change, resource energy depletion, then mental health problem. These are very common in advanced country. You will see school dropout or absenteeism is very common, and especially developing country across the world. And suicide of farmers, even suicide of educated and then uneducated, unemployed people, even that middle-aged and elderly people, all of which these issues are immersed in the second half of the 20th century, right? Though these problems, it may be superficially separated, we can see that this reflect into two common characteristics at the present era, that are fallacy of composition, fragmentation of holistic working of organic life. That is, fallacy of composition characteristic. This occurs when pursuits of benefits by each individual leads to unexpected problems in aggregate. At the individual level, people have expanded their consumption in a quest for a more comfortable life. As a result, then scarce resources are being consumed to a point that exceed the environmental carrying capacity of the earth. The depletion of natural resources and the energy, global environmental problems, the coexistence of food abundance and hunger, and you will see the north and the south divide. All this can be considered under this characteristic of fallacy of composition. The other characteristic, that is fragmentation of holistic working of organic life, can be described, which is described as fragmentation of holistic working programs of life. It manifests itself in symptoms of fragmentation or disconnected nature caused by division of labor and narrow specialization in human activities that finally result from the never-ending pursuit of higher productivity, efficiency in the process of modernization. This example include, we'll see the threat to food safety from the spread of bovine diseases and the avian or swine influenza, the degradation of ecosystem, and the loss of biodiversity. Moreover, the feeling of alienation and isolation and various kinds of psychological adaptation and the loss of a sense of satisfaction or purpose in life observed in advanced countries, it can be attributed to people's disconnections from the lives that surround them and to the fragmentation of the holistic human activities in society with a high level of division of labors. Right. It has become a very common phenomenon, not only in developing countries, especially in India also, because of this particular characteristic. And if we look into sustainable development, it cannot be achieved unless people overcome the problems of these two characteristics of problem, that is fallacy of composition and the fragmentation of holistic working of organic life. Because that lurk behind the problems faced in the 21st century. Therefore, we need to increase the attention to new educational programs that aims to train people who can lead the way towards sustainable development. And today you will find out the sustainability science. It is widely acknowledged as a tool for global sustainability, because we are looking for what we have discussed in the beginning, that the major objective of sustainability, then looking into the interrelations between the three important system that is global, human, and social system in one side, and under how our how the science is growing in different stages, in different phases. Again, looking into the problems we are facing or problems we are created because of our economic growth, because of this our advancement in knowledge and its limitation. Now, to solve all this problem or to minimize all this problem, the doctrine, the principle of sustainability science has become one of the important tools for attaining global sustainability. And it has become the core philosophy of different agendas, core philosophies of different national and international agendas by different nations, different organizations, etc. Again, if you look into some of the goals initiated by United Nations, like Millennium Development Goals, SDG, you will see Sustainable Development Goals. You will find out that all the goals are interrelated, and we need to have an holistic approach to achieve all these goals. The SDG provide a normative framing and that is invisible and universal for the emerging discipline of sustainability science. What is the international trend in sustainability science education? Points to remember is the issues of sustainability is varied depending upon the scales, region, and nation. Thus, it has priorities areas and differ from country to country, from region to regions, and depend upon the level of collaborating institutes if you look into the micro level. So efforts to build a new sustainability science have accelerated in academia across the globe, particularly in Europe and in North America. Few of the efforts can be mentioned here, that the Forum of Science and Innovation for Sustainable Development at Harvard University, under the leadership of Professor Bill Clark of the John F. Kennedy School of Government, and his colleague, under the auspices the American Association of the Advancement of Science. Then researchers from Europe and Japan, as well as United States, participated in this particular forum. The point is that all the academics across the globe, they're trying their best level. Even in Europe, you will see several institutions has emerged that address specific issues of sustainability science. Few of the institutes you will see the Tyndall Center for Climate Change Research. This is a network of universities based at the University of East Anglia in the United Kingdom, and the Potsdam Institute of Climate Change Research in Germany, whose work has a significant influence in the European Union's climate policy that have attracted international attention. Then the Stockholm Resilience Centers in Sweden, it has become a global hub for research on the resilience of ecosystem, a concept to the study of ecological societal adaptability to climate change. And then you will see the Inter-University Research Center on Sustainable Development, which is a network that based at Sapienza University, Rome, Italy, that has done significant research on energy sustainability, particularly on the development of new transport-related energy policies. At the University of Tokyo, India, the need for a new academic discipline of sustainability has grown as an effort of collaborative research and education initiative through the Alliance for Global Sustainability with the MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, and Chalmers University of Technology in Sweden. In India, IGNOU in the International Decade of Education for Sustainable Development established Chair for Sustainable Development under the chairmanship of Professor M.S. Swaminathan, and the university, Indira Gandhi National University, sponsored the plenary session of sustainability science in its in 95 Indian Science Congress that was held at Visakhapatnam from 3rd to 7th January 2008. These are some of the initiatives taken by different institutions, different organizations to establishing sustainability science a new discipline. So in this session, what we have learned today is, as a take-home point, is that when in this particular in 21st century, when we talk about sustainability, then we are talking about a sustainable planet. For a sustainable planet. To understand a sustainable planet, we need to understand three important systems. That is three important level of system. They are global, social, and the human system. So we should understand the interlink of this system. Then we have look into the how the sustainability science was emergent in 1990s. 1990s after Rio conference in 1992, 92, and then again we have looked into the evolution of sustainability science, a discipline, is a part of evolution of science at different stages. That is from survival science, the human advancement knowledge of advancement of human knowledge from a survival science to development science. Now we are talking about sustainability science, because from survival science we move to the development now. Because of development, we have seen a number of impact to the environment, which have direct or indirect affect to our social system, human system, and natural system. So we need to sustain those systems, and this is how sustainability science was emerged, and it has become an emerging discipline across the world. In India, also we are not far behind. We also started this discipline in Indira Gandhi National University. With this, let us meet in the next session. Thanks all. Thank you.